thing, right?
I'm kind of glad I'm not sitting directly beside you.
We're gonna get you a little closer.
Because you're like, whoa, fuck.
So you gotta keep the mic very close to your mouth.
Like that?
Yeah. You talk loud.
Like deep throated? Like.
Almost. Yeah.
Take pictures of everything for the scrapbooks.
I'm just glad I'm not directly beside you because you're like fucking Benjamin Button, and I'm tired of it.
Man, it's so
Dude,
weird.
you are Benjamin Button, and it makes me sick.
The picture that one of my friends posted a picture yesterday.
Yeah.
Of like my frat picture from 2012.
Yeah.
And I reshared it, and everyone's like, "Ricky, you actually reversed age."
It's true.
And it was 10
hate
years
you.
ago.
I absolutely hate you.
Who
like,
told
why'd
you reversed
can we
age?
switch? Like
My whole DMs are saying the exact same thing. And I did
Dude,
that
he's
picture. I did
Benjamin
it
Button.
on. I
You
did it on
less
TikTok.
grays, I think. What the fuck?
Yeah, the grays are getting crazy now.
But
though.
he's
Even my
Ben-
beard.
No, you have less grays.
yeah, but the grays
definitely
look
do not
good
have
on
less
you.
grays.
You're like going like George Clooney style. Like
Guys, man, I've said this before, but I love when people start the podcast by just pumping my tires. So, future guests listening, if you want to do this too, that's fine. I won't complain at all.
I'm actually not pumping your tires. I just don't want to sit beside you because I've gotten fat and ugly, and you're.
Mass, I don't think you've
solid.
actually aged either, man.
Yeah, okay. I wish.
From back in the day when we used to
Nightclubs have
shake it.
destroyed me. Just nightclubs have destroyed me.
Fuck, it's Matt. When was the last time I saw you? Or we
It's
saw
been
you?
at least 3 years.
No,
maybe
than that.
more.
More than that.
Yeah, more.
It's been a
at
long
least for me,
time.
Yeah, a long time.
I'm trying to think when
I
we were.
saw you before you traveled. Before you went on that
That's
that
2017.
travel craziness. That was,
Yeah, yeah.
That was amazing, bro.
2017. I went 2017. That's like now 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago. 20. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
That's
Long
crazy.
time.
I don't think I've seen you. Yeah, similar kind of thing. Probably like
It's
4 or
probably
5
the same
years.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Wild.
did take a little bit of a hiatus, and I was just like
Disappeared from the world.
disappeared
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
world for a little bit, which was really nice. And then
That's what happens when you get old, man. Fuck, we're not kids anymore.
you know what it was, bro? Like for me, it was I did the clubs when I was so young, right? Like I started when I was
16?
17, bro. Like I was really young.
What was it before Lyme Productions? What was your
UT
all
events.
ages? UT events. Oh, fuck yeah. I remember.
Yeah, man. So like I'll never forget that. Like my first party I ever did with some partners was at Lucid, which was then
wow,
Circa.
Lucid.
Oh my god.
So and I'd never walked into a club before.
which is now Marshalls
Yes.
and Milestones.
Yes. So, I did it with this guy named Ralph Matty. I don't know if you guys remember Ralph.
we remember
Legend.
Ralph, yeah,
Legend. He was like my mentor, bro.
I feel like he was
And-
like Maddie's too.
Yeah, yeah. Like Ralph taught me how to talk, how to walk into rooms. Like I was bred to be a promoter. Like when you walk in, this is how you say hi. When you do something, this is how you talk to somebody. This is how you create relationships. It was crazy, man, back then. And dude, I went to the club like a week before the event, and I'm like, this is what I got to fill? Because there's no pre-sale tickets back then, man.
There wasn't ticket
it was
link.
flyers.
Yeah.
Like flyering people, talking to people. So I walk in there and I'm like, dude, I'm going to lose you a lot of money. And he's like this. He's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry. I believe in you. I believe in you. And I was doing it with this guy, Ronnie and Gigi, and they're like, it's going to be amazing. Don't even worry. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like kind of worried. The event came and we did 3,700 people.
First event.
First event.
This would have been what? 04, 03?
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Like,
it's a
well,
long
I'm
time.
35 now. This is when I was 17.
So 18 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're going back to
I don't know. I'm
04?
terrible at math. I'm terrible at math.
04.
Yeah, it's 04, man. It's crazy, right?
These girls, Becca and Danielle, were probably like, yeah, you guys were 9.
You guys were 9? Wow.
Oh my God, little babies.
Yeah, man. And then, I was doing the all ages and I was doing my thing with that and I was doing well with it. And then I progressed into the 19 plus. And then I went out with Ralph one Saturday. And
Lyme Productions.
Lyme Productions, yeah, man. And then I went out with Ralph one Saturday and we're walking around and we go into this one place and it was this, we went to a bunch of different clubs. We went to Century Room that he owned at the time, went to Law 332, and then we walk into this place called Boudreaux. And I walk into Boudreaux and I'm like, this place sucks. Like, there's nobody here. This is terrible. And he's like, this is my night. I'm like, whoops.
My bad.
I'm like, my bad. And I was 18. And he's like, no, man. He's like, you should just, like, if you think you could do something here, when you're 19, we'll do it. I'm like, no. I'm like, let me do it now. I'm like, people already got fake IDs, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, let me do it now. And he's like this. He's like, no. I'm like, you literally have nothing to lose. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, it
So
always sucks here anyways.
2 weeks after that, I started promoting it. I called a bunch of buddies. And back then, you would call a friend and then another friend. And we were trying to figure out how to get everybody downtown. And we didn't know how to get people downtown.
You're a Vaughn guy. You're a Woodbridge guy.
Woodbridge, right? Yeah. So the Woodbridge crew, I couldn't get them downtown. And if I would get them into a limo bus, it was double the price. And it was only 20 people. So I wanted to do volume, right? So we called a bus company. I'm not even fucking joking.
remember these.
We called an actual school bus company and said, I need like 7 buses. And we did 7 buses from Woodbridge. And people got into school buses. And these were like regular people like us
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
like normal people. Got onto school buses, $15 each, and went to the club. And that 2 weeks later, we sold the whole place. So we did 800 people, and then it was just Udo was born.
I remember some St. Mike's guy too, and there was always the Woodbridge St. Mike's buses.
Yeah.
And it was the exact same thing, except you take the Woodbridge bus to St. Mike's in the morning, take it back.
Yeah, then you
Monday to Friday, and then Saturday you do the same thing, Woodbridge bus
Same
downtown and back.
it was crazy, man. And then it just spiraled, man. And then from there, went into a bunch more stuff, man.
You know what I used to love? The name of your anniversary party, Taste of Lime.
Twist the Lime.
Twist the Lime. Yeah, that was
that was
always a
one.
good one.
Yeah, that was because you got to remember back then too. Like when I first got into the club scene, it wasn't like what it was when you guys came in.
Yeah,
and all
we
these
were
other guys
later.
came in. You couldn't own a promotion company. That's not the way it worked. Is if you wanted to be a promoter, you had to work under somebody. So you would have to work under Zedd, or you would have to work under Dynamite or Adnan or whoever these
Yeah,
guys
one
were.
of those
If you
guys,
would
yeah.
call a club or walk into a club and say, "I want to work there," no shot in a million years. They would never hire you. They would literally say to you, "You have to go speak to this person and work under them." So I was working under Zedd, but I was running Boudon by myself. So I went to him one day.
Where's
I'm like,
Boudon? Where's
Boudon, it was Rain.
Oh my God.
That's how long ago it was. Yeah.
And now Rain is that.
Rain is that restaurant. That's,
It's a brewery thing too,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah. It's really cool.
What's it called now?
I have no clue.
Anyway.
I have
Where
no
is
clue.
it?
So Richmond and Peter.
yeah.
Queen, yeah, between.
Queen and
There's a
Richmond.
brewery there?
Yeah, Peter Street.
It's got a rooftop patio, doesn't it?
got a
Oh,
dope
yeah.
rooftop.
Just what's
Not
that little
Bandit
restaurant
Brewery.
on the corner? There's a little restaurant on the corner.
The French spot's so good.
What's it called?
Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
yes.
then the
But it's
brewery's
that one
right
south of it.
beside.
You know what's so crazy about Peter Pan? Sorry, I'm gonna jump in on this.
Yeah.
I never clued in, so I don't know if this was done purposely, but I'd always see Peter Pan. And the other day I was driving down the street to come pick you up, and I was like, Peter Pan. I was like, it's a restaurant. It's on Peter Street. They use pans. I was like, is that how they came up with the name?
Probably.
And I actually never
smart.
clicked in my head.
Pretty smart.
It's like, I was like right at the corner. I was thinking, like, that's a really clever random name, but this kind of makes sense now.
Yeah.
And it's a cool little
crazy.
spot because then they got they have the little latte store beside it.
Yes.
It's a double spot.
So
it's a
good,
restaurant,
man.
then a little cafe.
It's so good, man.
I've never been in there, but I always wonder
It's
why.
really good. Like
where's
it's
the
like a
restaurant?
French cuisine type of
Just
vibe.
Peter Pan.
I've
really,
walked
really
by
good.
numerous times. I live
Yeah.
literally right down the
Their
street.
little patio over there is really dope in the back. Yeah. I used to
Yeah,
go
and
there
then
all
but
the
the
time.
brewery's got a really nice one. I haven't been. Danielle, are you looking up the name of it or?
It's
Should
not
be there.
Mascot Brewery. I know what
No.
it is. Once you say it's like Hooper's, it's Bar Hop.
Bar Hop.
That's it. Bar
I knew it
Hop.
was
Yeah.
Hoop something. Hop.
Is Mascot Brewery still around? No, that's where the new hotel is.
don't
That's the
know.
new.
Nobu?
Yeah. It changed to 222 King. 224 King and Simcoe. Okay. Anyways, okay.
Yeah, man.
Hey, when you're repeating her saying stuff, wait till she says it all, then say it all. Because you're going to hear her say it, you repeat it,
Yeah,
her
because
say
you
it,
can't
repeat it.
hear her say
It's
it.
just weird.
She doesn't
It
talk loud
sounds
enough, and then
weird.
it's like-
you like mumble it.
The
to get
problem
it.
is there's such a gap. You hear it. Like
No, I
people
know.
are like, oh, why? Like, why do you guys just like? Is there a delay? My mom will text me. She's like, Ricky, you know, there's like a 10-second pause, and I was like, oh, it's because Danielle's talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we don't repeat it.
Sometimes
heard it.
weird.
Because my mom watches on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
That's how she watches now. So
I
the only
watch it
reason
on
she knows because she
Spotify. I
can
listen
see
to
me.
it
Yeah,
on Spotify.
We look at Danielle when Danielle's talking.
Everyone
That's
should
what
watch on YouTube. We need those streams, baby.
Yeah.
100%.
We're gonna start pushing it.
Spotify's
But yeah, bro,
We're-
it's insane how that all kind of came about, man. It's,
I think the first Lyme party I ever went to was you guys used to do Rockwood, no?
no.
Because I remember I took a Woodbridge bus to Rockwood once.
We probably did like a one-off there or something.
Maybe.
'Cause,
So
like-
I got my fake ID taken away there.
Probably. That's
By an
what we were.
undercover,
We were
yeah.
like the young guys that were like bringing in like all the young kids that were just causing, like it was the Woodbridge kids, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a Woodbridge guy, but I moved out when I was 20, but
Yeah.
still a Woodbridge guy at heart. And
At heart, yeah, you
you know
grew up
the
there.
Woodbridge guys. They start fights. They're lunatics. That's what it was. So we used to go into clubs and just fucking demolish them.
Yeah. I don't think I ever told this story on the pod, but it was a week before I went to Western, or a couple days before Western. And I had a great fake ID. Like, I've
Yeah.
always had good fake IDs. And I was using this guy's, I can't fucking remember which one I was taking at the time. Anyways, so got in there, and my ID, I have the ID, the student card, and I had an old Visa of his, or an old debit card or something. I
You
had
were
3
ready to
pieces.
go.
I had 3
You
pieces.
were ready to go.
So we're walking to Rockwood. I wasn't even drinking because I just got my wisdom teeth out, so I was still on antibiotics. And again, I went to Western like 2 days later. So we get there, and you see these like old people in shorts, but at the time, I didn't know that's what undercover cops look like. I just thought they're old people that went to clubs. Like,
Yeah.
I figured moms and dads still went to nightclubs. Well, it turns out now, if you see an older person at like a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old club, yeah, good chance
Yeah,
they're
disclaimer,
not.
guys.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. there.
Anyways, so a guy goes like, hey, can I see your ID? I was like, no. Like, oh, where the police shows us the badge. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, well, fuck it. My ID's sick. Give him the IDs. You got a second piece? Yeah. Perfect. So as I'm pulling out my wallet, he's like, "You got a third piece?" I was like, "Oh yeah, here, give it." He's like, "Oh, what's that card?" I had my actual ID in the same wallet, but like it was behind all like the 3 pieces.
Yeah,
So he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, I'm not showing you. It's my wallet. I don't have to show you. He's like, "I'm confiscating these. Get out." I was like, "Fuck."
You're lucky you just got that.
Yeah, nothing bad. Considering I had 3 pieces. So the best part is, I went with it all the way. I was like, "No, it's me. But I was like, "Okay, I'll bring these to your house tomorrow." I was like, "Fuck, I'll be there. Sounds good."
That's amazing.
A week later, Julian Rocco, that's who it was. No, Dante Diulio, that's who it was. He texted me. He's like, "Yo, did you get my ID taken?" I was like, "No, why?" He's like, "Well, the ID just showed up at my house." I was like, "No, I lost it, man. My bad."
Smart.
This is fucking 2008 or
It's a
something.
long time ago, man. It's funny how the scene is like progressed and
There's no more entertainment district anymore.
There's
look
not,
at
but
it.
you know what? King Street's starting to make a little bit of a comeback. I like I said, I haven't been out in a really long time because
you're
I took
old.
a little bit of a hiatus just to clear my head and shit. But I went out on Friday. I went to the Raptors game. My buddies tricked me. They're like, "Yeah, like we're gonna go to the Raptors game, then we're gonna go home." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Then all of a sudden, let's go for drinks at Myth, and like let's go here, let's go there. So like I ended up going to see because I'm still doing marketing for a lot of the venues downtown, right? So
You do what? Ultraviolet or 44? Which one is it?
So I do a bunch of different ones. So like I've done some work with the Century Room guys. I helped them out with some stuff at the beginning. Kind of still doing my thing over there, but not really. Kind of took because it's too much of a conflict, right? And then I do consulting for 44. So I literally am dealing with all of their marketing from the ground up on the back end. Plus my marketing company Inserts handling all of their branding, website, the whole 9 yards. I do the entire Liberty Group portfolio. So like I have like the Chibos, I have Don Alfonso, Blue Blood, everything,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Arcane and Chango. And then, who else do I have nightclub wise? I have Her in Mississauga.
How is that?
You know what, man?
Where's her?
Her is the old 108.
But isn't it also like
It was 108.
108 was Mississauga.
Is that like 401 area? Not the old
Yes.
not Sugar Daddies.
It's close to Sugar Daddy's.
It's it used to be called Anco, maybe.
No,
No?
that's another
Still
place.
around?
That's another place.
Anco's
Anco's
near
still
your
around.
parents' house, isn't it?
No, Anco's near my cousin Sophia's house. Farther, it's a 401 area.
Anco is like Square One area.
Yeah, like north of, like
Yeah.
you're going more north.
This
of
is
that.
more like where the police station is on whatever that road is.
Is Her the one that's like they kind of built it to mimic 11, where it's like kind of
Yeah, so we did the branding for
Okay,
it. So
yeah.
we actually did the branding for it. So it was a funny story. It's like, the guy who actually owns it is Tony Grossi. Tony Grossi owns the majority of like Rebel. So Inc. manages it, but Tony Grossi is like one of the bigger partners there. There's a few of them. There's Kimmels. There's a lot of guys in there, but Grossi's like a legend. Like I'm talking about, this guy owned the Docks. He owned the Phoenix. He still owns the Phoenix. Like he's an OG, older guy. And I get a call. He called Nick, Regina, and he called Nick, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I have this space. It's this strip club, but I don't want it to be a strip club. I want it to be a nightclub strip club. Like, what do you guys want to come up with?" So we literally were like, "Okay, let us put something together." And we came up with the branding. We called it Her. We did everything from the top down, and it was going well. Nick, he was doing his thing over there and killing it and doing his thing. But Nick kind of did a similar thing with me, where we kind of got tired of the scene, kind of backed out. And then Naveen and this guy Andrew took it over, which these guys were running Luxy back in the day. So
I remember, yeah.
Her is basically what Luxy was.
Got it.
But what's funny is that, and it's no disrespect to anybody, but it's guys like us, we never really went to Luxy, right? And we probably wouldn't go to Her
I grew up in
either.
Mississauga. I didn't go to Mississauga clubs.
That's what I mean.
No
Like-
offense, Mississauga clubs. But
No, but
oh,
we-
yeah,
Most disrespect. No, I'm kidding.
No, but we wouldn't go to Her, right?
But to your point, I was the guy who would like get a school bus with my buddies and like go downtown. Mississauga,
Exactly.
I'd go to Square One and go downtown.
George
not
would
straight-
get a limo though. George got
Yeah,
George's limo.
rich. You're gonna say it, but no, I did when I was like 16. Actually, sorry, I don't want to hear the rest of the story, but I remember I did my first birthday was at what was the club that used to be above next to the Porch and Rockin' Horse, or maybe it was the Porch and Rockin' Horse.
the club.
Not Gravity. Fuck was it called? It was a nightclub.
Where was it, on Richmond Street?
Yeah, Richmond Street next to the fire department. It's like now going back. You got to go back like to 2000. No,
Fiction was on
2006. You would have been.
So
way
if you're
too
talking
young.
about,
I was like my
so there
17th
was
birthday.
Gravity, Metro, there was Fluid,
Embassy? No, Embassy.
Embassy,
Embassy was
Udo,
underground.
Light.
It might have been something. What was Gravity with that way back Wednesdays one? of the
Yes.
days?
No, that was
Yes.
Minaj.
No, it was Gravity too.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Anyways,
Gravity
it was one of those places.
Okay,
and
what is it?
when
the
I
guy who
was
owns
seven-
that
What is
place
Crazy
owns
Words?
Juliet.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He owns Juliet.
No way. My
Yeah, Paul.
yeah. Anyways, not an important story, but I did my 16th birthday or 17th birthday there. Took a limo down with buddies, collected like $20 from everyone.
You got
like I don't even think we did bottles. I think we just went and listened to music.
George for
and
sure
watched.
has a picture holding like 2 bottles of Smirnoff in his like Le Chateau outfit or something.
Oh,
Dude, the
100%.
best.
100%.
My,
100%.
do you know Glenn? Do you know Daniel Moretto?
Sounds familiar.
Maybe he's kind of a Woodbridge guy. Obviously know Glenn.
For
So
sure. Shout out to
we
Glenn.
did Glenn's 18th birthday at upstairs at Rebel when it was still called whatever it was before Rebel. It was called the Solarium
Yeah.
at Rebel. So it's the upstairs where the atrium
yeah,
is now. I
next
guess they
level.
call it Noir. It was next level.
Noir.
That's what it was
Noir
called.
now.
We got a picture of Glenn. So again, he organized a school bus down, blah, blah, blah. 40 guys, everyone pitched $20-$30. You get cover and a drink each, whatever. And he's got a picture holding 3 bottles in each hand of Smirnoff with the biggest smile on his face. I
Dude,
think it was
it's
the guy's profile
hilarious.
picture for like 3 years.
Dude, it's
and Glenn, I'm gonna
hilarious.
send this clip to Glenn because he'll know exactly the picture
It's
I'm talking
so
about.
hilarious.
In our Le
That's it.
Chateau or like what's one of those other stores back in the day? Le
Hey,
Chateau.
I know what you're talking about.
One of those outfits,
Dude, it was the fucking
fast fashion
Oh
outfits.
my god, man.
What a weird thing. What a weird thing. Like people like back in the day, everyone did. Even I. Like,
We did.
Take a picture holding bottles. Like you're holding a bottle of alcohol. Why is that cool?
But dude, that's still a thing.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
for
it's-
sure.
But like for the
But
younger
now
people,
it's
not for
gotten
us.
even like more progressive. Like this venue 44 I'm doing all their branding for. Guys, I'm telling you the honest truth. I've never in my life, and I've been doing this since I was 16 years old, ever seen bar sales like they do. And I have nothing to do with it.
Well, I'm
I
proud-
wish I could be the guy to say, yeah, it was all my
Yeah,
consulting. They're doing bar sales like I've never seen before. And these people are just spending so much fucking money. Like more than we ever spent collectively.
I can
Like I'm
imagine.
talking about like these guys are doing like $15,000-$20,000 fucking booths. And it's insane, guys.
Yeah,
It's
and you know
insane.
the craziest
Yeah,
part is
well-
too. You see now it's like the evolution of the pictures holding bottles, like pouring out champagne on your like watches and shit.
Yeah.
I see so many stories like that. I was like, yo, that's like fucking rent. That's
Yeah.
like that's my mortgage this month.
Dude, it's
Just
insane.
Pour it out on your rollie. Like
It's like, even
why are we
tonight-
doing
like,
this?
bro, like even tonight, like I have it's one of the owner's birthdays, so I have to go by over there. And again, it's like now I'm fucking back in this fucking spot where I have to fucking go out again. But I'm going out tonight. I'm gonna go by over there, and they're like, "Yo, like, what do you want to drink?" I'm like, honestly, get me like a bottle of Spumante Bambino, and I'm good. he's like, we do even carry that? I'm like, bro, send that ace back. I'll take Spumante all day. Because like, dude, like I don't give a shit. Like I'll drink anything. Like,
Man, it's even yesterday. At one point, I was at Parlor. The lady's like, "So we have bottles there." I was like, "Hey,
Great
I know this
spot.
is awkward. Can I get a bottle of water?" She's like, "Yeah, of course." So she brings over a bottle of water. Starts like pouring it. I was like, "No, I'm just so thirsty. I've been out all
Just
day
want
long.
water,
I
yeah.
just need like."
that's a great spot.
large guy.
Parlor's a good spot.
We were actually talking about this just
You're
off
friends
air.
with the owner, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Ollie, one of the owners. So
Ollie,
yeah.
Yeah.
and Ollie's a London guy.
I
Great.
don't know him well, but I've heard like good
He's
things about him.
honestly solid, like just straight up solid dude. We had him on
Good
a couple of
energy.
weeks ago. Yeah,
Those are
just
the
some
best
A
ones.
little crazy with good energy.
That's the
yeah,
best
but they're
thing, bro.
everybody's
No,
a little crazy.
It has.
But yeah, so he's so that brand came over from from Vancouver, I think. So
Okay,
now they're
cool.
here. And we were just talking off air. It's such a good like
Yeah.
vibe in there.
Yeah.
You know, from this time you sit down, the food's good. Like, okay, you're not gonna get the best meal you've ever had, but their pizzas, some of the best pizzas in the
good.
city.
Yeah.
You know, the prices are very fair. Like we had a table, we were maybe 10 of us. We ate, drank. We had 2 bottles. We had maybe 3 or 4 bottles of wine, food, blah blah. I think our bill for like the 10 of us was like $2 yesterday.
Wow.
Which for 4 hours.
That's amazing.
And we had a lot of people coming in. Like Danielle was there. George and Becca were there earlier on in the day, but they didn't stay for us.
We haven't been drinking. Yeah, we haven't been drinking a whole. Becca and I did 75 hard, so we did like this 75 days no booze, working out,
Good
whatever.
for you.
It ended as of yesterday. So it's
broke it?
pretty big deal. So we're gonna
Saturday, March 19th.
Yeah,
Oh, you broke
so
it
celebrating
with
with candy.
I love what you're saying
We're-
yesterday. It's like this is being released in 2 weeks.
Oh, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it ended on March 19th. But we were at Parlor, and this is the second time we went. We went once a couple weeks ago for a brunch, and not only have we not gone out a lot over the last few months, just because winter, we're not gonna go out, and then we didn't do the no drinking. So we're like, what's the point of going to a bar? Like we go to dinners with people,
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm not gonna sit at a bar, like whatever. But then we went to the brunch. I was like, oh, it's really nice in here. Like daytime, people are socializing. It's fun to people watch a little. And then we went again for to meet them for St. Patty's on Saturday, and I was just looking around. I'm like, this is a very nice venue because again,
Vibe is everything, man.
Yeah, and it transitions really well. Like it's very bright. It's bright on one side of the day, a little bit dark on the one side. So you kind of feel like you're in almost like a chalet ski thing, whatever.
That's cool.
And then it's a good party because it's loud music, it's good music, but you can also talk and hear people, which is
That's the best thing. Dude, vibe is everything. And I tell everybody that all the time. Like, like when I got out and I started, and when I mean getting out, I mean like,
You got out
stop
hard,
being in
yeah.
the club.
Yeah,
like
you-
I did just cold turkey. It was
You
like,
did.
it was like, it was like when a person like, goes
Quits
through
drugs
AA.
or something,
Like
yeah.
I said, I'm done. And everybody thought, like, everybody, made the comments like, oh, you left because you're a girl or whatever was that, right? Everyone thought, oh, you found a girl and she doesn't want you going to clubs. Like, no, it wasn't that, man. Like, mentally, it was draining on me. Mentally, I was not who I wanted to be. I was this guy that was like I told you guys, like I was trained to be a promoter. So all I did was become a promoter. So even my relationships, my family, everything around me was this promoter. And I didn't like it. And I needed to just get out. And everyone's like, I got out when I was at, not to sound cocky or anything, but I was the top. Yeah. And I just said, I'm done. Like this was the height of Maison killing it. This was the height of, this was the height of like when that club was selling out on like a, weekly basis without problems. And Lyme was doing 15 tables a week. Like we were killing it. But I just said, I don't want to do it. I'm done.
I don't blame you.
And I got out. And then, and then I started focusing on the marketing company. And it was,
it is, but there's also, it's so draining on your body. Like even I slowly got out of it. And mind you, like I was nowhere where you were, but like even Moretti, you obviously remember Moretti, Alex. So we did it together. It came to a point where it's like he wasn't enjoying it anymore. Like the guy was wanted to, he'd get there at 12. He wanted to leave by 1 the latest. Yeah. And it came to a point where it's like to make my whatever I was making a night towards the end. It's like I'd rather just come and have fun and not have to deal with
100%.
people. And again, I was doing EFS Fridays and Lost and Found Saturdays.
You're
like
killing it. Those
both
were
places
strong
sold
nights.
out. And, Drake walks in and on a Saturday or Justin Bieber or someone, and it's your fault that some girl's table didn't go. It's like, oh, sorry, you had $1,000 table. You're not here at 12:30, and Bieber just walked in.
Yeah,
but it's my fault that your birthday's ruined.
What do you want me to do?
Like, or your friends show up. It's like, guys, tonight's gonna be crazy. Fucking DJ Exco or one of those guys is coming in. Like, show up early. Be there before 11:30. It's like, no, it's Lost and Found. We'll be fine. It's like you show up at 1 o'clock. You start calling. It's like, no, there's something I can do.
But that was the problem. Like, it wasn't literally like, you know what it was, dude? It's like, you know what I found when I kind of just took the step back? It was either you hated me or you liked me. There was no middle ground. There wasn't like, oh, just masses, whatever. It was either you hated me because I was either a dick or a piece of shit. Because I was. I'm not going to sit here and say I was a fucking angel. But, guys, I was, 20 years old making a lot of money doing my thing. And it got to me. I became a loser. Straight out. I could personally look back and say that. But then there was other people who loved me because, I got them into a club where I comped them a bottle. So it was like, it was these two progressions, and both of those things were based on what I did for a living rather than who I was as a person. Yeah. So when I took a step back and I'm like, okay, you say you like me. Why do you like me? Oh, you got me into that club. Oh, okay. Well, it's like, why do you hate me? Oh, you fucked me over by, I don't know.
Selling my table or something.
Whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was like, okay, so like, where's the realness here? And that's really where, like I said, I took that step back. And then I was, like I said, I was still dabbling. I booked Drake at that Prey Noir thing, which was the craziest thing. If you guys want to hear our story,
I would love to hear that story.
This is the craziest story.
I want to ask one thing on that topic because, like, I mentioned this once before. I don't know if we talked about it on this, but I talked to Ricky because I always found it fascinating. Like, I was obviously in the nightlife scene, but I was obviously I was on the DJ side, so I didn't really deal with. People would ask me, "Can you get me in?" I'd be like, "Sure." Hey, Rick, can you wait these guys in? Like, I didn't deal with it. I never had, you don't get chased around and hounded as much. And I was only for a short time. But what I always found fascinating is how people talk to and treat promoters, and especially when you have like a relationship with them. Yep. I found it very fascinating because I see I've known Ricky for a very long time, and I was there at the beginning when he was booking shows in London coming up. And it's interesting to see, fucking Pretty Ricky. Fucking dancing shirtless on bars still does it. Some things never change, eh?
Matthew McConaughey.
Hey, things change, but some things stay the same.
That's a good commercial right there.
But I always found that very fascinating is how someone who's like a friend or an acquaintance, whatever, won't talk to you for like a month. And it's like, hey, I'm outside this bar. Can you get me in? I always found that very bizarre. Yeah. And I want to ask both of you guys. Does it bother you that would happen? Or was it a sense of like you knew that they still needed to rely on you? Like, how did you view that? Because I personally would have been pissed. I would have annoyed the shit out of me.
So I'll go first. I'll jump in. Go. When I was younger, I used to love it when people did because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this favor for you. You owe me one. Mm-hmm. And that's how I used to view it. I was like, I'm collecting all these favors. Like, you owe me one. I'm gonna collect, blah, blah. But then it was like, the older you get, you're like, fuck right off. Like, you're not one of my boys. Like, yo, and my guy friends know I'm notorious for this. If you say, hey, like if you text me, I'll be like, hey, I'm outside. I'll be like, hey, my night's good. How's yours going? And they're like, no, I'm outside in line. I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. My dinner's really good. Have you tried the pizza here?
Yeah.
And they're like, Ricky, like, can you please come get me? I'm outside. I'm like, oh my God, we just got another drink too, man. My night's having so much fun. Oh, sorry, what did you need? Like, I do it every time because if you're gonna try and if you need something from me, small talk,
Say
butter
hi.
me up. Yeah. Hey, how are you, Rick? Hey, are you here? I know you're here because I saw your Instagram story. But hey, do you mind
Can you
come get
do
me?
something for me? Yeah.
That's why I used to drive me nuts, and once I got out, and mine was a slow transition out, so it was nice.
Yeah.
But you just realize like how many people don't actually care to talk to you.
No.
You realize, okay, like I know we're club friends, but now that I don't work, it's like I'd still like to talk to you every
Of
now
course,
and then.
and
Like
say hello.
we're not best friends. I'm not gonna ask you how your little sister and your mother are
100%.
doing or your brother, but just check in. Hey, Rick, I saw you started the podcast, or I saw you switched careers now. Like, how's it going, man? Like nothing.
Nothing.
Which I don't mind because fuck, the older I
Me
get,
was-
I want my circle to be even smaller.
Mine was different. Mine was like I didn't really look at it like that. But the problem was I looked at everybody, including like my closest real friends, as money. Everything was money for me. Everything was not in a sense that I got paid per head or I got paid with this, but you coming there was my job, and that's what it was. And my relationship with you was work. And that's where it started hitting me, where it was like, I'm with friends that, I went to elementary school, like my buddy Greg, my buddy Rob, like these are guys that, elementary
grew
school
up
friends through the years. And I started looking at them being like, yo, like, why aren't you doing your birthday with me? And he's like, why don't you ask me where my birthday is first? And then we'll see. Because maybe I don't want to do a club. You didn't even ask me that. You just said, why didn't you do my birthday? And I just took a step back. And I'm like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, that's not a way to talk to somebody. But that's where my mind went, dude.
You
So
were
it
like
was-
convoluting, like you're mixing everything
You
up. It was
lose, I
like,
mixed everything up, man.
and it wasn't like I saw
It wasn't pleasure then business, it was business then
And
pleasure.
dude, it took a lot for me to see it. You know what I mean? Like I had to go really down to, the rock bottom, but not in a rock bottom in a sense that I sat there and I said, who's who, who's a friend, who's not, who's real, who's not, who's this, who's not. I got into a new relationship and, she was really even pushing me being like, this isn't you. Like I remember when we went on my first date with my wife and, I was just there, just
Give her a shout out.
Steph, my beautiful
What's
wife.
up,
But,
Steph?
I was sitting with her and, first date and dude, we're doing the classic promoter thing. Like, yeah, like, I just went on tour. I went on tour with 2 DJs and, I know this guy and, I did some stuff with OVO and, you're talking all the fucking game. And she stopped me. She's like, I don't give a fuck. She's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's funny because the first time I met her, I'm like, hey, I'm Mass. Nice to meet you. I met her at a house party. And she looks at me straight in my face and goes this. She goes, I know exactly who you are and I'll never go on a date with you. Like before I even said anything.
Surprise,
Yeah,
Steph.
that's what I said. And I said, ooh, challenge accepted. You know what I mean? But that's how it went. So she kind of pushed me to be like more me. And that's kind of why a lot of it happened. So in a sense, when people say, yeah, you left the game because you're a girl, it's like, yeah, I did, but I left the game more for my own mind. Yeah.
You didn't have a chance to kind of break and separate the two until that kind of happened, I guess.
That's
at that
it.
point in
It
your life.
didn't happen, and it would have never have happened.
Yeah.
And it's honestly would never have happened because it was just I was so convoluted, or I don't know if that's the right word to use, but I didn't know what was what or who was where and what was going on, and it was terrible, man.
You're moving at a fast pace, right? So you got in at 17. I mean, you probably didn't
Yeah.
have a chance to stop and
don't
smell the
stop.
rose or stop and say, let me take a break for a bit and figure
Yeah.
this out and see if I want to do this. It kind of like,
what
everyone's
it
kind
was
of
too.
everyone
Because
has something put in front of them when they kind of when
And
you
that's
need
what it was
right?
too. And it's like even people that were like my friends, for an example, like you were doing Lost for an example. Okay, when you were doing Lost, we probably weren't talking as much anymore. Why? You're a competition. to me. So, but I love Ricky. Like Ricky's the best. But why did I act like that? You know what I mean? So you have to take that step back and be like, okay,
Yeah,
like,
fuck Lost and Found Saturdays. Fuck Maison on Saturday.
That's what it was.
That's how it was.
And it was. And it's like, like if somebody would say, nah, fuck Ricky. He won't get you, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's like, yo, you're talking shit about a guy who's
You've known each other
done
for like 10
nothing
years,
but good things with you. Every time you've needed anything for any sort of thing, you've always
Yeah,
been
yeah.
there to support. And then you're talking shit about a person who's been nothing good for you. So what kind of person are you?
Couldn't really, so I guess, yeah, it's like more like it wasn't able to separate the business and the friendship
what
stuff.
it
It's like,
was.
hey, I like him as a friend. And I'm not gonna push him to his business, but he's still my buddy. But
That's
you kind
what
of
it is.
put them together and
make
said,
money together.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
beauty part that I tell everybody. Like, like Ernesto's got a great marketing company that does very well. Back in the day, I'd be like, yo, fuck Ernesto. But it's like now, no. It's Ernesto does great shit. Good for Ernesto. I'm happy for him. I want him to make money. You know why? Because there's enough money for everybody. I was just talking about community just now. I look up to them. They're at another tier than, of everybody else.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when I see that, art does these massive stuff, I don't sit there and like I used to before being like, yo, I want that or I want this. It's like, no, how can I get something like that? And what did he do right? And you know what? I respect him for it. And that's the thing. Like, that's what's really changed the biggest thing from the last, I would say maybe 3 years for me, is I've changed my perspective, changed my thing. And it's like, Not so much with you, with what you were saying, where you'll sit there and, you know, you want to talk to the person and stuff like that. I've kind of become antisocial, believe it or not. Like this
Same.
short thing is perfect for me. But like, if I'm in a bigger set, I fucking hate it. Like,
I'm the opposite of Ricky. If someone wants it from me, just tell me what you want and I'll get it done
the
for
way
you.
I am.
Don't make small talk with me.
Yeah,
I don't care how
like,
your day
I
is.
don't
Let's
care.
do
Like,
it.
Milk
because
me
you're
up,
taking away
baby.
from something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'm the
you know, I got
same.
my kid now, man. Like that's
Time is
priority
precious.
number one. Like
Yeah.
priority is number one, right? Like I
Yeah.
get my mornings with him. Like we wake up, we chill in the morning. I get my like later on during the day. Like those are my time or precious days. Like you gotta call me, of course. I got shit to do. Clients are gonna call me. I gotta do stuff for them, but make it quick because you're taking away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I want to ask too, like you're saying now, like you obviously you're supportive of everyone and all that stuff, which I think is awesome. And do you think before part of it was like maybe like envious? Like it's like, hey, I have to do the best. I was the top. I have to stay at the top. I have to be the best. Was it
Part
like?
of it.
Is that? I'm just out of
The
curiosity.
biggest thing that really, and I'm not trying to talk shit. Like they're a great company, and I did a lot of great things. But you know, I worked with Inc. and I worked with Inc. at a very young age. I was 20 years old when I got hired to Inc. And I was at a very high position, guys. Like I was making a lot of money. And when you make a lot of money, there's a lot of, you know, expectation, which was great. But I was 20 years old, doing really, really well for myself. You know, my parents didn't give me money. My parents didn't give me shit. Everything that I earned it myself. I bought an M6 that was a year old at 21 years old. You know what I mean? Like I was doing really well for myself. But again, it goes back to what I was saying. I was a piece of shit. And when I worked at Inc., what fucked me over there was Inc.'s mentality, as amazing as the company, like Charles is an amazing human being. They're all the most creative people in the world. But their mentality there is us versus the world. And that's really what it was. And that was really the biggest thing why I stopped working with them. And what started the whole, I want to say, mass, you know, rebirth was when I left there. It just started going into it because, you know, I got into them with once and the conversation was, why are you talking to this person? And this specific person was, I'll say it, I don't care. It was Craig Pettigrew. Craig Pettigrew was, again, another mentor of mine, was a manager for TSO for a very long time, you know, did massive shows, ran Circa, did all this stuff. Like he gave me my first shot at Circa. I was doing always shit clubs. They brought me into Circa as there was really not that many promoters at Circa. And I did like 27 tables in my first night, which was crazy. It was $27,000. I made them in one day. But anyways, besides the point, I want to get off that. But I remember I tweeted him and he was living in LA running a massive, massive club over there. And somebody from the company came to me like, yo, why'd you tweet him? I'm like, pardon? Why'd you tweet him? It's us versus the world. What does that even mean? What do you mean? The guy's not even competition. The guy's not even this. And then I started hitting me. Holy shit. You're not going to go and talk to Ricky because Ricky's competition. And then I started noticing myself go that way. And then that's when everything started spiraling. You know what I mean? It was like, I wasn't happy. There was, you know, shit that went down. And it's like, dude, and it's not to talk shit. Like everybody has their own way and you can't, you know, it's one of the biggest, I think the biggest entertainment company next to Liberty Group, you know, in my opinion, in Toronto. But, you know, that's the way that they built it. And for me, that wasn't what I wanted. And, you know, some people could turn it on and turn it off. But that's the, you know, I hope that answers the question.
No, it's good, yeah.
I get what you're saying too, because even, and this is when me and you actually became really close, is when you hired us to
This
work.
is London.
Yeah, this is London and Sky Bar.
Yeah.
That's how it started. I don't think I'm going to tell the story too because we got some time. But
Yeah.
we came back from Western. It was me and Alex. And even I think you said when you don't get to step back and just enjoy because it's like go, go, go. We came back and I remember my parents like, Ricky, do a semester abroad like in the summer. So I was like, I can't leave. I gotta do Crown Entertainment because this is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like you think you're such cool shit because you're making, you know, $1,000 a night cash or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I remember you got like, you guys are gonna do Sky Bar. I'm like, fuck yeah, we're doing Sky Bar.
Yeah.
Sky Bar is one of the best venues in the city, like especially in the summertime. 4 months, amazing. And you gave us a crazy good deal, which I remember being so happy for. And we were gonna do Hawks and Fridays. John C was setting it up. And then you called me and Alex, and you're like, no, you guys have to do This Is London. This is how it works. If you're doing Sky Bar, you got to do this alone. We're like, okay, you got to give us a crazy amount. You end up shockingly giving
And you
us.
guys killed it.
You gave us a crazy
That
amount.
upstairs
Yeah.
was nuts.
Yeah. We had fun. Anyways.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. And like you say, that's like us against the world. It's like, you can't do this. You can't compare. It's like,
Yeah.
we weren't Inc. employees. We were never Inc.
Never.
employees.
Yeah.
We had our own little business. And, you know,
But
we
you
did
had to do it this way.
But you have to do it. It's like, yeah, all in house.
And that's the thing. Like, and it was great.
Interesting.
Listen, it was great for Inc. Like, you know, that, you know, I'm going to try to toot my own horn, but that time when I was at Inc. was probably the biggest expansion that they've seen. Oh, yeah. You know, it was a lot of nightclubs, a lot of restaurants. You know, Veld came during that time. There was a lot of great things. I'm not taking credit for it, but I was a part of that team. But, you know, that's the way it had to be. It was, fuck you. No, This is the way it works. This is this is that, this is this. And that's what started the whole, revolution for me was like, no, like there's not a problem talking to Maddie Tomaris. Why? Why is that a problem? And now look at it. My relationship with Maddie's great. And Maddie, I do a lot of work with Maddie on other stuff. You know what I mean? Nothing right now, but I do a lot of work with Maddie on other stuff. It's like, Nick DiDonato, for an example.
Mickey.
The Nick DiDonato is the best example. You know what I mean? If I would have went down the road where I was like, fuck everybody, fuck everybody, fuck everybody, I wouldn't know somebody as brilliant as Nick DiDonato. Like Nick and Nadia, in my opinion, are the most brilliant people in the hospitality game. Their vision and the way that they look at stuff is like no other. So it's like, I saw them looking for a social media manager and I contacted him like, Nick, instead of hiring somebody, hire a company. We'll do it for you. He's like, I'll give you a shot. But would I have been able to do that without knowing Nick? Would I have been able to do that if I would have burned that bridge? And the thing is like, I'm glad that I took the step back when I did, because it really made me change my perspective on things. It also made me push me in a way that, okay, your work is your work and your friends are your friends. I was pushing everything together. My promoters, even when Insert, the first 2 years of Insert was all my friends. How do you go to somebody and say, hey, I need a deadline by this day. You need to hit that deadline. Then they don't hit the deadline. Well, it's because you're my friend. I'm going to come to you and say, hey, buddy, fuck you. I know you went out. Blah, 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 blah. You're an asshole. You're this, you're that, you're this. And I'm saying all these things to the person rather than if this was a corporate setting, hey, man, this is your first strike. You didn't get this done. Can you please get it done next time? So it changes the ball game. You could work with friends, but you got to have a good relationship. Like my partner at Insert's Joe, right? It's Joe Ghost, right? It's my partner at Insert, and we have the best.
Also your best friend.
Yeah, it's my best friend. So it's like we have the best relationship. So you can work with friends, but you got to. It's a sticky line, man. You got to know which one's which, right? But that was the crazy part, man, about it. But yeah, so I mean, if you want to hear the story about a Prey Noir, I'll tell you guys.
Go.
This was the most wild thing I've ever encountered in my life. So through my life, I always got calls. Hey, I want to book Tiesto. Hey, I want to book this guy. Hey, I want to book Afrojack. Hey, I want to book these guys. Because I had, relationships or whatever with certain guys. And, the owner of Le Jardin called and said, hey, called Nick actually. And Nick called me and then put us on a three-way. Hey, I want to book Drake. I want to do Drake. And this was after we did this Halloween party at Le Jardin in Woodbridge. And we did this Halloween party on a Saturday night at Le Jardin. It was the last Monster Mash that we did. And we booked French Montana. And French Montana he came out to $90,000 US. So it was like 120, something like that. We did the event. Needless to say, I was the majority partner on it. It shit the bed. And I mean, guys, at this time, like I said, I wasn't really that much in the clubs anymore. I was on the back end. I was only doing one-offs. Insert was just coming up. So Insert was like kind of paying the bills, but not like anything crazy. So to be a majority partner of a show that, lost when it was all said and done $150,000. And I'm all self-financed. I'm all this. My parents, great parents, but don't come from money, even though I'm from Woodbridge, but they don't come from money. It put me to like nothing, guys. Like, I'm not joking. Like within like 7 months, I was like eating craft dinner. I was going to my parents' house and getting groceries. Like it was fucking rough. Like it was really, really rough.
So just a question. So people listening and for myself, majority partner means like you are a partner with like you guys joined together and then.
Yeah. So what we did with them is we did a buyout. So we bought the venue out for the night. So we ran the bar, we ran everything. It was ours. So we gave them X amount of dollars, whatever it was. And we took the entire venue. And then, all the expenses of marketing, DJ costs, promoter costs, all of that was with that. And I did it with Nick. I did it with Paul. I did it with a ton of these guys who don't really do shows. So, at this point I was already seasoned, right? Like I did Disclosure, 10,000 people. I was partnered with Embrace on it. Like I did, a lot of big shows. So I was already seasoned. So when I saw the event coming up, I knew that there was a disconnect. The ticket price was too high for it being in Woodbridge. It was a $75 ticket. You can't do that on Halloween. I don't care what anybody says, you just can't. You could do that as a second or third tier, but as your first tier through the gate, it's impossible to get it done. Because then people got to buy booze, they got to be all of that. So like, if Ricky were to come out and go there, Ricky would be $200 deep before, for him to have a good time. It's just too much money. But anyways, I saw that happening. I was the majority partner, but we had 4 partners, but we all had equal say. I lost the vote to start shrinking the party. Because when you shrink the party, I would have recouped $40,000, $50,000. I would have pulled security. I would have, closed the room. I would have pulled out some of the DJs. There's things that you do. But I lost the vote and the event, did very bad. But I was the majority partner in a sense that I think I was like 40%, something like that. And then it was divvied up, right? Like me and Nick were equals and then, divvied up the way. but yeah, man, it was bad. Like, I mean, like guys, like I was, it was a really, really scary time. And then, you know, I also went through some shit with my girl during that time too, where it was like, you know, she was kind of being like, you know, you need to, you know, break past. Like, I can't keep waiting for you to break past this promoter mask. Like, you can't keep talking to people and acting the way that you were. So like, I was literally dealing with shit, like financially, I was dealing with shit work-wise. I was starting up a company, you know, I was having problems with my girl. Like, everything was just in the shitter.
Perfect storm.
It was the perfect storm, bro. It was literally, when you say the bottom of the barrel, was the bottom of the barrel. And I was like mentally not in a good place. Like, my mental health was at the all-time low. And then Nick calls me, and Nick goes, it puts me in three-way with the owner of Chateau
Parentella.
Parentella, legend. And, you know, Carlo's a very, you know, unique person with the way that he talks. He's
Smooth
a very,
talker and everything. Yeah,
he's got the balls. He's got everything. And he's like, I want to book Drake. And he's like, I want to book Drake because I saw that what that French Montana event could have been. So again, like I said, the worst thing that ever happened was French Montana. But then Carlo says, I want to book Drake. So I replied without even calling.
The farmer story.
Which?
Yeah.
It is. I'll tell you after. I told it like 2 episodes ago.
So he goes, yeah, like, I want to book Drake, blah, blah. So I said, without even talking about it, it's $1 million cash. Just because that's how I would vet somebody. If you're prepared to spend $1 million, you're ready to go. You could play in this game, because this game it's not a joke. Like, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of shit. So he goes, I'll call you back. Bro, guys, within a fucking hour, he called us back. I want to do it. So Nick's like, well, we're doing this. I'm like, is this for real? And I'm like, okay. So we call him back. Okay, listen, this is our deal. This is our thing. You know, we got a booking fee. We got this. I put in insert to do the marketing. Like, it was multi-tiered of us doing it. Like, I was involved in the production, like multi-tiered. This thing became a monster. So then all of a sudden he goes, yeah, okay, we're going to book Drake. And like, you know, I want to announce it, blah, blah. We announce it. And there was this huge buzz on it because it was Drake out in Woodbridge. And then, you know, we did our deal with the OVO guys, and we did our thing with that, because that's like a whole convoluted thing, right? With the OVO guys. Like, it's not as, you know, it wasn't as pretty as it was where it was like a contract with an agent, like I'm normally used to dealing with. This was a handshake and a dinner, right?
Is that really how it works with them? Like, it's not.
It's certain things, but this particular thing, this is how it went. So imagine now you are Carlo Parentella, and this is why I tell everybody, as no matter what you say about the man, that guy has the biggest balls. And I'm sorry to say that, you know, well, there's women here, but he has the biggest balls in the city. And the reason why he does is, who the fuck pays $1 million cash to somebody without even something signed that says he's going to be there? Guys, when we did the exchange of $1 million cash, that was the most wild thing I've ever seen in my life.
I can imagine.
Wild, guys. $1 million cash exchanged. No wire, no nothing. A Brinks truck showing up to the Shangri-La, because that's where Drake was living at the time, and doing this exchange was the most wild thing I've ever seen in my life. And then Carlo does that. And then he calls, okay, I want to book more people. Well, who you want to book? You let me know. Put a list together. Okay. But Carlo, you know, like, I get a percentage on every booking. You know, there's the marketing fees. There's all. Yeah, no, it's all good. I don't care. Okay, are you sure? Like, can I see a budget? Don't worry, I have the budget in my head. I'm like, okay, let me know. So, bro, I booked David Blaine. I booked Jennifer Hudson. You know, I booked Bob Saget. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. It was the saddest thing. But booked Bob Saget. Booked Robin Thicke. Like, we booked a lot of big acts. And like, bro, we booked probably within 3 months. I think we booked $4 million worth of acts in like 3 months. So now this is what's crazy about this story. And this is where I was going with this was I went from the worst thing that ever happened to me, being to the point where it's like, you know, I was literally getting day to day, you know, paying my bills, you know, that bad. And that was never me. Like when I was 16 years old, like I was making a lot of money from 16. This is now 20, what was this? 30 something? Whatever when a prayer noir was. But I was older. I wasn't used to this. This guy that couldn't do this, you know? And this was happening to me. But look what it created. It gave Carlo the idea to do a Prey Noir and Drake, even though he'll never admit it. He'll say that it's, you know, because it's Carlo. But that event gave him the idea to create a Prey Noir that launched this massive thing where it was the most money I ever made in my life. And I went from being the worst I ever was to buying my girl her ring, buying her a fucking massive rock because that's what she wanted.
Becca's sitting there like, yeah,
doesn't even fucking wear
baby,
it. Doesn't
pay
even wear the
attention.
fucking ring. Cost me a fucking. Anyways, whatever. Pisses me off every day. But got her that crazy diamond, dude. Paid for the fucking wedding. You know, I paid 100% of the wedding. My parents didn't pay for it. Her parents didn't pay for it. I paid for it. You know, got us, you know, our house in Bolton. Like all of this happened from the worst thing that ever happened to me. So now it changed my entire perspective that through adversity, you could get something that's the best thing.
I'm gonna tell this farmer story because it works perfectly like this.
It falls in line.
Very
So
much.
I told him the other day, and then
You've told me a couple times.
Yeah,
in
and
the
I
past.
sent you the real one because I always butchered it. So
Yeah, I'm gonna pull.
so I remember it pretty good now because I read it the other day and I read it to somebody because it's
It's like a Chinese proverb type thing.
and it's so important because when bad things happen, you get so angry all the time and you're always so pissed off. But that's not what you should do. You should always just have faith and like look at the bigger picture. So the story is there's this farmer and he's got a horse. So the one day he wakes up and the horse is gone. The horse flies. So the neighbor comes and goes, "Oh man, that's terrible. Like you lost your horse." He goes, "Yeah, maybe not." Well, the next day the horse comes back with 2 more horses. The neighbor comes and goes, "Oh my God, that's great. You got
Double up.
2 more horses now." He goes, "Yeah, that's maybe not." The next day the son comes back from war. He's riding one of the horses, falls off the horse, breaks his leg. Fuck! Oh my God, this is terrible. Your son broke his leg. He goes, "Yeah, maybe not." Well, the next day the army comes to town. They're recruiting kids between the age of 16 and 40. Oh, they can't recruit the kid because he broke his leg. He goes, "Yeah, hey, you're so lucky your son's not going to war. This is amazing." The farmer's like, "Yeah, maybe not." And the whole idea of the story is that you don't know if something is good or bad until down the road. You know, the idea of hindsight and everything. So it's something that whenever something really bad happens, or even something really good, you're always so excited. But it's like, just enjoy the moments and realize that that's not the end. You know, you have more. You lost this horse, or you had this really bad event, and you're thinking, "Fuck, this is the worst thing to ever happen to me." Terrible. And look, it just translated to one of the best things that probably ever happened.
It made me that 6-month span was just so terrible. Like I had a promoter that left me too, that went to go work for another company. He tried doing that. Somebody in my marketing company tried doing something shady at the time as well. Like it was just, everything was imploding, guys. And like, guys, mentally, I was, I've never really said this out loud, but like I was at the edge. Like I had nothing. Like at that point in my mind, I had nothing. And it's just so quickly how just by putting my head down and just fixing one thing at a time, because the first thing I fixed on was me. I started seeing therapy. I started getting, the help that I needed to try to figure out what was wrong and why I was this person. Then I started working on me and my girl. Then I started working on work. And then it was one by one. And then everything got better. And then this was the tools to become a better person. And now I could, back in the day, I said it. You saw what I said? I said, yeah, I was a piece of shit back in the day. But now I can sit here and say, no, I'm a good person. Because I am. And I believe that I am. And I want to continue to be a good person. And, just having my son heightened all of that, like it's just crazy how things could change and how everything could happen,
Good for you, man. Honestly.
Thanks, man.
I'm not just sitting here pander to you, and that's really impressive.
Appreciate that.
I think there's one thing I want to add, like that story. It's really true, and it's really hard to see. I can say I think like you've gotten good at it, like myself as well, like through what we've gone through over the time, like just different experiences and being there,
of course.
like sharing experience with, and you obviously seeing it firsthand by yourself. That's the biggest thing I think is as you get older, but you face ups and downs in your life, like those ebbs and flows. Is just honestly realizing that like things, I don't know what religion it's from, but I know there's one, whether it's Buddhism or something, but it's like things aren't good or bad. It is what it is. It's a cliche saying, but really things aren't like, you can view them however you want to view them. It's good. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. It is what it is. It's a fact. It happened. That's all. You interpret how you want to interpret it. You take what you want to take from it. And it's very hard in the moment. Like I'm not sitting here trying to sound philosophical. Like, something bad happens and I'm like, oh, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm going to learn from this. But you just got to weather the storm. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be cranky. Everyone goes through the same thing. Everyone handles it. But it's how you come out kind of on the other side and realize as long as you just keep doing one thing at a time, not trying to boil the ocean, not trying to fix every problem you have at once.
Yeah. Take a step back.
Take a step back and do one thing at a time. Like just it's a very like simple and like kind of cliche analogy, but like you can't build a house throwing all the bricks of the wall at one time. You have to put one brick down at a time to build the foundation, then build up. And then this ties to the point that you said too, which is something as well that I've like thinking about a lot lately. And like, I actually like talked to Beck a lot about this. the trip that I went on was one of the things that changed this a lot for me, because you're by yourself a lot. You think, you reflect. You're like, am
Literally
I
just
the
about to
bad
say
person
that.
here? Am I doing something right and wrong? And you self-reflect. But one of the things that I learned through that and, reading and growing and experience is like, the easiest way to start being happy and getting on the right path to being who you want to be is honestly just working on yourself, because you can try and change the world. You can, and there's people that do great things and people that make a big change. But at the end of the day, if you really want to be happy, it's look inside, worry about yourself, don't worry about others. People are going to be, we literally talked about this morning when we were on a run. People are going to act irrational. People are going to act selfish, self-interested.
Happens.
Me as well, us as well. Every human does it, right? No matter what. As long as you work on like inner peace and quieting your mind and not getting frustrated when someone wrongs you or someone does this, someone lies to you. Like, people are going to do that.
Yeah.
If you're happy and you're peaceful inside, then it makes the rest of it easy, because then you can say, okay, I should come to expect this. I'm disappointed that my friend lied to me or this person. But you know what? That's how people are.
That's what
and
it
I
is.
can't change them. Just focus on yourself, and that's
what's
step by
beauty
step.
about
Sorry,
that
sorry,
is-
Mass. I
yeah,
want to
go
cut you
ahead.
off for 1 second.
Yeah.
George, out of 160 episodes that we've recorded, that was hands down the best, most well articulated,
Thanks, man.
like
beautiful.
point you've ever.
I was
put
literally
out.
just about to say that. It was
That,
beautiful.
that was I was
It's
listening to it,
beautiful.
and I wanted to chime in
cry
so
right
many
now.
times.
But it's
And we've done
beautiful.
160 episodes or something. And George, that was
Well, we're
well,
really proud of
like
you
you
guys,
didn't fucking go in circles. You didn't ramble. That was very well articulated, very to the point, and that was amazing, George. Good for you.
Thanks, my pal.
And that was all facts. Back to you, Matt.
Well,
But guy, I'm telling you,
believe,
brother,
maybe.
that part, and this is why I was gonna say it's beautiful that you said that, because it's true. But think about it this way, and this is something that's gonna blow your mind too. There's a lot of bad shit that happens to people. It's just part of life. You've gone through your shit. You've gone through your shit. I've gone through my shit. And we can look back and say, I wish I didn't go through that. But you going through that made you the person you are today. If the shit didn't happen with me being, a piece of shit with my girl, let's say I didn't
Yeah.
cheat
No,
on
no,
her.
we know. Yeah,
I don't think I didn't cheat on her.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't cheat
yeah.
on her. But if I didn't go down that road where she sat down and said, listen, change. And it wasn't with the clubs. It was just change as a person, or you can't do this anymore. Would I have been as good as a husband as I am today? No shot. No shot in a million years. If I didn't lose all that money at French Montana, would I have been the guy that was driving the M6s, wearing the Christian Louboutins, wearing this, draining the bank account every minute that I had, rather than just being the guy that, I wear nice stuff, but I don't go crazy. I don't break my bank account. You know what I mean? Would I have, if all the shit didn't happen, through my life with all the work stuff and all of that, would I have been able to launch a marketing company? Absolutely not. So the point I'm bringing up is all the negative brings you, like that trip for you, in my opinion, even though I'm sure it was an amazing trip, because dude, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I wanted to unfollow you a few times. I was very jealous, but that trip, I'm sure there was some bad shit that happened, some good shit and all that. But that shit made you who you are.
For sure.
You are a better man with your girl because of it. You are a better man in life because of it. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with you, brother. Like,
Everything happens for a reason. I was actually talking to one of my girlfriends about this the other day, because she said she was going through a hard time, and she kind of came out on the other side. And I'm big on complimenting people. When people are glowing, and I will tell I tell so many people, if I honestly believe people are glowing, I'll tell them. I'm like, whatever you're doing right now, keep doing it, because you're fucking radiating. You're glowing, and I love it. And I was talking to a friend, and I said, I'm like, look, you look really happy. I know it's just through social media, but like, I ran into her. I was like, look, you're whatever you're doing right now, keep doing it, because it's fucking working.
Yeah.
You look beautiful. You sound beautiful. Everything on you right now is glowing. And she goes, thank you. Like, I really appreciate it. Like, I've gone through. So we started talking. She lost her job. She was in this fucking little bit of a trap where she was just on this like kind of downward spiral. And I don't want to say that. And I'm not going to say her name because
no, please
but
don't.
you guys might know her. But anyway, so she was going down this bad path, and she kind of turned it around, started focusing on herself and all these little things.
Changed everything.
Yeah, and I said, when you go through those lows and those highs, it makes you appreciate the middle. The days where it's, hey, not a great day, not a bad day, because okay, you're striving for something else, something better on the good days. And when you're not at a bad day, you're like, hey, I appreciate that I'm not at this fucking shit day.
Exactly.
Right? There's your days where you're ones and your days where you're tens.
100%.
Fuck, the fives aren't bad.
They're not.
You gotta remember, to us,
Dude,
our
I look
fives,
forward to
our
the
fives
fives.
are better than most people's tens.
But
You know, if in comparison, like, fuck, we're sitting here and you got
So
people
fucking true.
protesting about fucking masks. Meanwhile, there's kids in Ukraine getting fucking bombed.
It's insane, man.
You know, and we're upset because fucking we have to wear a mask.
Oh,
It's like it puts
man.
things into
It's
perspective,
insane.
right? But anyways, the point I was making is that the hardships and
Perspective.
exactly, everything about
It's
perspective. It's
perspective.
the highs and lows, and that was a fucking good
Speaking
little
about
chat.
being like super pretty, do you still have your six pack?
Yeah,
That's a good pivot. I like that.
I lost it for a bit,
You're
but it's
such
back.
a dick.
I got it back though.
Like I'm gonna have to like.
I lost
I'm
it
gonna
last
mute
year.
you on my Instagram because I'm gonna be scrolling and my wife's gonna be beside me and she's gonna look. She's gonna be like, "Why don't you have a six pack?" Like,
Bro, I'm gonna add you to my close friends. then you'll see some shit.
It's gonna start coming up way more.
You know, that would have been a good segue for me to make fun of Ricky for his TikToks. But you know what I said today? I said I'm gonna stop making fun of Ricky for his TikToks.
Why? I don't have TikTok at all.
Well,
so
if you
bad.
get
I own
it,
a- I own a marketing company, guys. I do not have TikTok. It's bad. I gotta get in.
Oh yeah, you gotta get on
If
it.
you get
That's
it,
good.
make
I'm
sure. It depends what mood you're in. If you feel like laughing and feeling bad for Rick, don't watch his TikToks.
What do you do?
No,
It's just like single talk.
Like what?
just like thirst traps.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot.
you're single now?
I've been single for like 2 years.
Gee, dude, I don't know. I haven't talked to you in like 5.
Yeah, so I've been single for like 2 years, and I made a couple like joke TikTok. I was using TikTok a lot for cast to try and get like, again, the more followers you have, the more reach you have, the better like any of your businesses can potentially do. So I would mix in, like the work related TikToks and a couple thirst traps and try and translate the new followers to downloads, yada, yada, yada. Well, since kind of we're slowly patching up or wrapping up cast, I had like maybe 30K followers on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
Well, then I was like, what, my niche, and everyone always talks about niches on TikTok. Well, my niche is that I'm that single guy on TikTok, right?
I love it.
Well, now I fucking play into it. And I shouldn't tell us on the pod, but anyways, like a lot of it's fugazi. Like 95% of it's fugazi.
Yeah.
It's not real. Like half the stories I tell.
On social media,
Half
man.
the stories I tell on TikTok aren't real stories. But again, it's like a satire account. Like I have fun, I joke
You
around.
enjoy
Like,
yourself.
but
that's your persona,
yeah,
man.
so
That's
now
okay.
now
Hold the
I'm
mic a little closer.
Oh,
to you.
Yeah,
sorry.
now,
You
now
tilt it.
I'm
Yeah,
now
you're
I'm
But that's your persona.
Yeah,
There's
that's-
nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
A little more.
I got
There you
you.
go. There you go.
Is that?
So it's
It's just
kind of
in
like
front of you. Yeah,
you
you're
remember Dom Zeddy, how he played the jokes gym guy?
Yeah.
For a long time, I did not know. Like, I didn't know he talked normally differently. Like, I knew he didn't talk like that, bro.
Yeah.
But his
Yeah,
voice
it's a
is
satire,
not
yeah.
the same.
It's a satire. Like it's an actual character.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
an
no,
online
no.
character.
It
That's
took a while to
okay,
figure that
but
out.
that's like beautiful to have.
Yeah,
You could
so-
still do it, and you could still do what you got to do with it.
Yeah, that's why. So I actually changed
You know
my
you
name
can
on
progress
all-
this when you get a girl and be it like this is the dating guy now.
Well, no,
And then get
I
into
always
this
thought
engaged
about
guy.
it. To be honest, like don't get me wrong, I like TikTok 'cause it's cool to meet people. Like I've met so many people because
Really?
of TikTok. Like so many.
I thought it was
Weirdos
always
too.
little kids.
Yeah,
on
I've
there.
met a lot of weirdos, like a lot of weirdos. But I've connected like some of my favorite TikTokers I'm friends with now. Like the guy Rod, he does like the millennial like work person on TikTok. We're fucking friends.
All I
And,
want to
I
know
see his
right
TikTok. I'm
now
like, this
is
is
I
the
want to know
funniest dude
the
on TikTok.
weirdest story you have from meeting somebody on TikTok. And I don't give a shit. I want to hear it because I'm so excited. Like when I meet somebody
Like a
single,
good weird or
when I meet
a-
somebody single too, and I ask them like a question like are you on like Tinder? Are you on like Bumble? And I'm like, what's the weirdest story that you've? Because
Yeah.
I didn't catch
Do
that.
you
right?
want good weird or bad weird?
I want like fucking funny, bro. Like I want fucking funny or something, man.
I don't know. Like I've met like a couple models and stuff like that, but like nothing too
Yeah,
like.
so, but what'd you do?
I can't say that. On the spot. I could-
How about the one-
I don't mean it like
how about
that.
the weird- how about the weirdo one?
Stalker.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
stalker.
yeah.
I'll
Let's
tell
hear
you this.
one.
So, fuck, she might listen to this too, man. It's so weird. Anyways.
Whatever, it's all good.
So
That's
I
just
check
so
my
funny.
DMs all the time, right? Like the message request DMs, and the funny ones I'll respond to.
Yeah.
I used to respond to all the DMs like before I started, but now it's like you have a video that goes viral, you get like 100 DMs a day minimum. Like it's fucked.
That's crazy.
So I had one, and this is right when Ukraine and Russia just started. The war just started. So she's like, "Hey, there's about to be a war. Quick, respond. Like, I need your help." Like, blah, blah. It was something funny. Like, it was before the war, but when it was the tingling, so it's like you could joke about it.
Yeah.
So I literally responded like, "You win today. That's a good one." You get a response like, "What's up?" So we have small talk back and forth, and then eventually, like, I just got weird vibes from it. So I was like, "Hey, respectfully, like, I'm leaving. Like, nice chat with you. Take care." Well, next day she messaged me again. I don't respond. Keeps messaging me. Keeps messaging
wow.
me. Keeps. So I respond, "Hey, by the way, like, I'm starting to talk to somebody. Like, I don't think it's fair." Oh, blah blah blah. Keeps messaging me. Okay, at this point, I just blocked her. Okay, well, that's on my like cool account, my Your Pal Rick account. I have a personal account, right, for like friends and family.
Tell me she found you there.
So, and again, the names are switched and they're not connected either.
Yeah.
Well, she adds me on there, starts messaging me. So I block her on that account. Then she has another account that she messaged me on both, right? So I block her. Don't I get a fucking WhatsApp message?
Oh my god.
Like, hey, And I look at the number. I'm like, sorry, who is this? She's like, oh my God, you responded. It's so and so. I was like, how'd you get my number? She's like, oh, I found it out. I was like, no, it's not online. How'd you get my number? She's like, blah, blah, blah. And like keeps like switching off the comment. I'm like, look, I just want to know how you got my number. If you're not gonna respond to it, like, I'm done talking to this conversation. So I block her. So I don't hear anything like 2 or 3 days. I get a text from a random number the other day, and I put two together. It just says, fuck you. a random text. So
That's
it turns out
amazing.
yeah, so now I've got everything blocked. But now she hit me up on another random
This was
account.
recently.
This is like 2 weeks ago, not even a week ago.
Yeah, you should definitely listen to this. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Now, so that's like the bad story. The good story I've met a lot of like cool women, which is always fun. But yeah, now I'm actually like
It's
trying to do
always
like
fun.
now I'm trying to do this like influencer shit, which I don't enjoy doing. But that being said, it's fucking crazy money.
Oh, for sure it is.
Crazy. I just
For
signed
sure it
a
is.
pretty like my biggest deal yet. So
It's amazing,
yeah,
man.
I'll
Good
tell
for
I'll tell
you.
off. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm
When I
doing a
get
couple-
TikTok, I'm definitely following you.
Yeah.
I think I have one. I don't know. It's so bad. I really got to get on that.
Oh, trust me, mine's bad too.
It's just like my client list, like for insert, is like I do grocery stores, like I do banquet halls, I do like restaurants. Like they don't really go the TikTok route. They should, a few of them, but I just haven't taken them there yet. So I gotta like.
I don't know. I feel like for like restaurants, you could do, or if not restaurants,
Yeah.
but grocery stores, you can do like deals of the day kind of thing. Like think about the print flyers are gonna be gone soon.
Think about it. You go to the grocery store.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
You guys.
I
The
do.
other pal go?
What, grocery store?
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
Would you go on TikTok to see the deals of the day?
No, but if it was there, you might see it.
I don't
no?
think
You
so.
wouldn't. You wouldn't. It's not. No, it's not.
Okay, I got a
that.
question.
Yes,
what's,
sir.
your, what's your favorite grocery stores? Like number, if you had to go to one
You can't
grocery
ask
store
me
right now.
this. You can't ask me.
Is
I
it
was
conflict of
confident.
interest?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'll answer mine then.
Okay.
I just hope it's one of yours then, or else it's gonna be awkward.
It's not gonna be. I do a Portuguese grocery store chain. It's not.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Do you know what? Me personally, I like Fortino's.
Tino's is a
Wow.
good one.
Okay. That's,
There's a
I was
really
gonna
nice
say that's
Fortino's.
random.
Yeah, there's a really nice Fortino's near my parents' house, and the best part is they still have like a bulk barn style candy area. So every time I walk straight in there, I grab a couple candies for my walk.
That's funny. You know, I
I know it's
haven't been.
technically stealing, but like, fuck
I
it,
haven't
I'm
actually
spending
been to Fortino's. I don't even know. It would have been since I was a kid, and we were up in like where were we, Vaughan, right? There's a one on Woodbridge, the one on
27 and thing.
Yeah, that's
It's the biggest one.
That's
I
my one.
walked in. We
That's the
walked
best
in
one.
there, and I was like, "What the hell is
It's
this
the best
place?"
one.
Man,
It's like
that's what I'm
fresh
talking
produce,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's a lineup to get pizza there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
And the
what?
pizza's
That pizza's
bomb.
so good.
It's the whole
Yeah.
hot table's good.
Yeah.
And chicken, ready rotisserie.
Yeah.
Okay, Costco has the best chicken, $5 ready to go.
Hands down.
Yeah, but okay, also it's a fucking 30-minute mission every time you go to Costco.
And
you
it
can't
costs
just walk
you
in
like,
and out.
and it
yeah.
costs you like $1,000 just walking in there.
Yeah, basically. But
guys
this
wanna see me
Fortino's,
go in there?
it has
I'm-
it's
I'm down.
$12 chicken at that Fortino, 12 or $13, and it's fucking bomb.
It's bomb.
All the food. Some days I go there for lunch.
Yeah.
If I'm in the area, like you used to have a job around the corner, I'll pop in for a hot table.
Really?
Do a sandwich and soup. It's like $9 or something. Oh,
Honestly,
that's a
man,
You know,
free
Rick
plug
just got
Fortino.
fired up. Asked the simplest question. This guy pulled the mic out.
I don't
you
even
got
grow
excited.
hold
Bro, you talked
to
about
get
chicken.
into the zone.
Yeah.
Bro, you talked about chicken. That's protein right there.
Fired up. I'm hungry.
Fucking Rick.
Mine's obviously my client Tavora Foods. They're like a Portuguese grocery store chain. Like, do you guys remember Western Produce back in the day?
Yeah.
Like, that was like the WAP place. Like, if you were Italian and you knew Western Produce, if you're Portuguese, you know Tavora Foods. So they have 3 locations, and then they have like they're the distributor of like all the fish that pretty much almost everybody eats. It's insane. And they've been my clients since I launched Insert, and they kill it. And it's good, but it's far from me. One's in Mississauga, one's in Toronto. The other
Where's
one's
the?
in
Do you, know,
Toronto.
do you know where the one is in Mississauga?
It's Dundas.
Dundas QW
something.
area.
Yeah, it's like there's another grocery store nearby there. It's called.
Because I know there's one of my colleagues, she's Portuguese, and she's a big famous Portuguese
goes there for
store.
sure.
And it's like in the Dundas Dixie area, I believe.
100%
And
she goes
so I wonder if she goes. Yeah.
Like if you're Portuguese, you know them. Like
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
met a Portuguese person that I haven't said it, and they're just like, "Whoa, you do that?" Because I'm a WAP doing the Portuguese one, right? Like
Conflict of interest.
it's a
conflict
flex
of
in the
interest.
Portuguese.
George, I'm
industry.
gonna guess yours, Farm Boy,
Farm Boy's good.
or Trader
Boy
Joe's,
used to
but
be.
Trader Joe's doesn't count.
Farm Boy used to be for a long time. I really liked it because it was like Trader Joe's. But recently it's changed. So there's 2-part answer. Like I'll echo what you guys say with Costco. It's one of my favorite places.
Costco's my favorite place on earth.
Honestly, like
Not allowed, though.
Becca always says it's one of our like favorite dates to go on. When early on we started dating, we went one day like middle of the day. We just went to Costco to shop, and it was like the most fun. We just like walked the aisles.
best.
I buy random
It is-
shit too.
It is fun though.
I
is the
buy
best.
It is fun.
Yeah.
Man, you can because
Yeah.
you can
Fun.
eat there too. You walk down and think about it, everything's a talking point in Costco. Like
Yeah.
you walk by, you're like, oh, look at that Philips Sonicare 2-for-1 special, $100.
That's
what kind of
me.
toothbrush do you use? You want one? Let's grab
No,
one.
see,
Why not?
I'm different. I'll buy shit I don't need. I want, and then
Me too.
This is not the first time that not the first time we went, but like the second time I went by myself, and because she started noticing when we were dating, she's like, you random shit appeals to you or whatever, and I was like,
Same here.
I one day went and bought, like, I did a run for us to get groceries for our place, and I like put them everything down, put it all away, and I left this one thing out that I didn't know where to put, and it was like a Tupperware organizer pantry set. She comes
have
home,
the
she's like,
exact same one.
what is this? And I was like, oh, it's like a pantry organizer.
Yeah.
It's cool. She's like, you realize you live in a condo and you
Yeah.
have like, what, 2 free shelves? What are you going to do with all this? I open it up. They're like massive, like pasta holders.
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's the worst.
I had to like put my tail between my legs, pick it up, walk it back down to Costco and like return it. Every time then I buy some random. But that's my one answer. The other answer, not farm boy, no frills.
No frills is bomb.
You know why I like no
underrated.
frills?
bro.
Go.
The branding.
Yes.
The
No fucks
branding,
given.
leaning into the no name,
Yes.
yellow and black, like their products. You look at the shelf, it's just yellow and black, no name. On top of that, the stuff is like you go get chicken broth at, let's say, Loblaws, which is the company that owns them.
Yeah.
It's like Campbell Soup's like $3. You go there, the broth, it's like $1. Like
Yeah.
it's just substantially cheaper. Okay, is it
It's
the
the same
best
shit.
produce? I don't
It's the
know.
same shit.
But all the stuff you're gonna get on the shelves is probably the same.
It is.
I think their branding, I don't know why. I just think it's really good
Genius.
to lean into that no name aspect.
Genius.
They do the Haulers commercial. Anyways,
Yeah.
I
So
like
the
no
only thing
frills a lot.
No frills. The only thing I don't like is the inconsistency in the produce.
For sure.
So
for
like,
sure.
remember,
Where you go.
when I go grocery, it's like every no frills could be different.
Yes.
It's like, you know, when you're going to Fortino's, at least
'cause
my
it's franchise.
it's fucking everyone is the exact same like selection. They all kind of look the same. It's all organized the same. When you go to No Frills, it's like some days you go there and I'm like, wow, I just got like all this stuff for this cheap and it's like good stuff. And then you go to one that's like around the corner in a different area. I'm like, this is all
Well, that's
trash.
the point. It's
Yeah,
franchise.
franchise,
It's franchise, right?
that-
you notice how they always have a name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
in front
like
of
Joe's
it.
No
So it
Frills.
changes the whole ball game with
Yeah,
it.
it does.
But it's crazy, man. Dude, going with Costco, man. Like when I was in a condo. I moved out when I was 20, right? So I was in a condo from when I was 20 years old till I was.
You were definitely
30.
at a condo at 7 and Weston.
No, I wasn't. I, never,
Okay.
I moved downtown. I was downtown.
you're
I was at
downtown.
Queensway and Windermere.
Yeah, I knew this.
Yeah, I was at
knew
Queensway and
this,
Windermere.
yes.
I first moved downtown. I was in right under Maison, right above Maison at the Roseland over there. I was there for a bit, and then I moved to Dan Leckie Way, and that was a shit show. And then I moved to Queensway Windermere. But, bro, speaking of which, with Costco, the first thing that I did when I bought my house and we were doing our walkthrough, and I saw that we had this massive. What do you say it in English? We call it a cantina.
I continue. Yeah, everyone.
What
knows
is
a
it?
cantina.
Cold, like a little
Cold
cold room.
cellar,
yeah,
whatever.
cellar.
As soon as I saw the cold cellar, bro, do you know the excitement that ran through my mind?
All the cans off the shelves at Costco.
Bro,
Just put them in
bro,
there.
I went to Costco that first day. Me and my wife, I spent $2,000, and it was on. I don't even-
Canned
she's like-
sardines. I'll eat this at some
She
point.
literally said to me, she goes, "But what human being needs 30 cans of peas? We don't even eat that many peas." I'm like, it doesn't go bad. This was a good purchase. She's like, honestly, we had enough toilet paper to last us till like next year.
This is
And then when
before the pandemic. Yeah.
Dude, and then the pandemic happened and everybody was stealing toilet paper. I went up to her. I'm like, what's up? What's up? Who's right now? And she's like, honestly, I can't fucking stand you. Like,
You know what's funny? I'm the same way. Like I'll just see shit because like I grew up in a house where my dad the same thing. Like he's got his
Yeah.
cellars, he's got like all, and he'll keep like a bag of like onions down there, and he'll have pickle jars. And I'm like, I like that because you just grab stuff
Dude, I
whenever you
love
need
it.
it. And then when we go grocery shopping, I'll pick something in the cart. She like back looks at me and she's like, "What?
What are we doing with this?"
Put
Yeah.
that back."
yeah.
I was like, "Really? You don't think we need it?" She's like, "You don't even eat that now. What's wrong with you?" And
I
I'll put it
honestly
back-
bought
I'll put
my
it back.
house
I'm like,
'cause,
"You're right.
Like,
you're right."
guys, I'm not joking. Like whatever it was, my house is I live in like a normal house, right? Like it's a corner town, but because it has that long balcony, like I have a long balcony, so the cellar is underneath the balcony. So I have like an abnormally long cantina compared to my house. So like my sister-in-law's house is like, triple my size, detached, whatever, all that shit. But my cantina is bigger than hers. So when she comes over, she's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
How many
Like,
tomato
honestly,
sauce jars you got
I
down there?
actually bought the house just because of that.
So I didn't know.
Wait, you're at Windermere and
I was. Now
You're
I'm in Bolton.
Bolton,
Now I
okay.
moved to Bolton.
Danielle,
because I
pull us
live
up
in that
to-
area. Like I moved there in 2019. I'm at
best.
Legion Road, basically.
Oh,
right
such
off
a good
there in the
area,
lofts
man.
there.
I
Yeah.
miss Etobicoke so much.
It's
man.
the best.
I miss Etobicoke
Yeah.
so much.
I don't know if this is actually correct, but a cantina, the difference between a cantina and a cold room is that a cantina is always at the front of the house underneath the stairs, and it
Okay.
has a window. And some cold rooms don't have windows and they're not a thing. I don't know if that's
You
actually
actually-
true.
This
Well,
one
that's
has it has like the holes. Like I have the holes.
That brings the outside air in.
Yes, I have like 4 holes because I just did soprasata this year, guys. Like when I'm telling you, I got old. Like I'm old. Like I did
Him
my
and Moretti would be best
homemade
friends,
soprasata. Who? Which one?
Alex. The younger
Alex.
one.
Oh, I talk
yeah.
to Andrew all the time.
You gotta talk to Alex, bro. You guys
Yeah?
are gonna fucking get along.
I did
perfectly.
soprasata this year, so it was like my flex is like.
He'll invite you. You guys will.
I'll do it
Anytime
in
you
a
do anything
heartbeat.
like that, call him.
Well, I'm going to Andrew's house. I think in probably like another month. We're gonna go swimming. We're gonna take his
The
kid.
little baby.
Nice.
So I told him the first time I take my son swimming will be. In
How's
his
your
pool.
son?
He's 5 months.
Oh, congrats, man. That's very
wait,
recent.
6 months. What's today, guys?
20th.
24th. He's 6 months.
Congratulations, man. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
man. Yeah.
Very cool.
On another level, man. Having a kid, there's nothing better in the world. Honestly, guys, I'm telling you the honest truth. Like everybody used to say it to me and I never understood it. Everybody used to talk to me and I never got it. And I'd be like, yeah, because I love myself so much, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But dude, when you have a kid, you literally care about nothing. And I'll tell you guys this quick thing. It's like this is where I kind of figured it out. My son was, guys, 3 weeks old, and the scariest thing happened. I was walking down the stairs. And my fucking foot gave out, guys. I'm not fucking with you. Like I'm talking about, I went in the air like this, and my kid was 2 weeks old, bro. So if anything happened, my kid was gone. And I pulled him close to my chest like this, and I held him really tight to my chest, and I landed full front, everything on my back. Like I'm talking about, guys, I had like a bruise like this big on my back. And where I'm going with this is like, and it's not like I'm a hero or anything like that. It's I didn't care about myself. All I
just want
cared
to
about was
yeah.
him. And I'm on the floor holding him, and he's crying. And I made sure that I was holding his head and whatever. And my wife comes running, oh my God, blah, blah. I'm like, just take him. He's fine. So she grabs him. And I'm on the floor for literally, guys, I'm not joking with you. It was probably like, might even tear up with this. I was on the phone for like, maybe like on the floor for like 2 minutes in excruciating pain, but in complete shock. And then I literally hysterically started crying because I felt bad, like I almost killed my kid. Even though it wasn't my fault. Like my socks just gave out, like it was what it was.
It's a slip.
And I didn't have my phone on me, nothing. I just slipped. But it changed the whole dynamic where I really just didn't give a shit about myself. Like I easily could have broke my back. Like there's no reason I should have broke my back.
You don't care about grabbing the rails.
But I didn't care about grabbing the rail. I didn't care about anything else. I cared about just making sure this kid is on my chest and going down. And I hit my back, bro, and it was messed up. Like it was bad. Like I had to go to like physio and shit. It was fucked up.
Mass, you still playing hockey?
Of course I am.
I had a feeling you were.
Of course. You think I will ever stop? I will never in a million years stop. My wife fucking wants to kill me.
Mass, so I played hockey with Mass a couple times. Mass telling me how he used to play AAA, blah, blah, fucking
And then I did not.
greatest player in the
And I was
world,
not.
apparently.
And I
This
was
is
not.
what, yeah.
It's like this reminds me, you know what this sounds like? If I didn't hear your name, I'd be like, oh, that's Andrew.
yeah.
Moretti?
So he was,
Yeah.
Moretti,
That's like
Moretti
a story-
was the
that's like
exact
what
same
Andrew
thing.
would
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
yeah.
Mass told me he's like AAA, blah, blah. I get there.
I was not.
No. No, the team isn't either. The team
No,
wasn't
no,
either.
no. It's changed now, though.
Are you guys
The
getting that?
team's evolved now. We're pretty good first in the league.
Mass is a heart guy. Big heart guy.
Heart. I'll
like
block
me.
the shot with my face. I have problems. Yeah. My wife came to one game and she saw me go for a block with a shot, wearing no chesty, no nothing. She's like, honestly, I'm never coming to watch you ever again. I'm like, all right, it's all good. I don't care. All heart.
That's me. I'm pure heart guy. I never had the physical gifts to make it far in sports. I was always the guy just firing the team up.
I was the guy that would go like
just
all heart.
nuts,
All
fire
heart.
the team up.
Yeah.
George
yeah.
always has nice gear, too. Always.
I did look
Dude,
good.
we
I
got
was
into the
best
biggest
shit.
fight 2 weeks before our wedding because she came to me and she's like, honestly, you have to put a cage on. She's like, if you're going to play, you need to put a cage on because there was a game the week of my wedding. And she's like, you're not going to that game. I'm like, it's playoffs. I'm going to the game. She's like, and listen, like we have a very good relationship, me and my wife, where, we kind of talk to each other about things. I tell her something I don't like. She does it. Same vice versa, right? But when it comes to hockey, there's no conversation. It's hockey and Juve. There's no conversation between those two. So I go to her. I'm like, I'm going to the game. Like, she's like, you have to wear a cage. Like, that's my compromise with you. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, no problem. I went to the store. I bought a cage. I showed her. I'm like, look, this is the cage. She's like, why isn't it on the helmet? I'm like, there's a lot for me to install. Don't worry, I'll install it this week. Guys, I did not wear that cage. I played it. And
It's
sure
still in
enough-
the bag, eh? Just
Sure
there.
enough, yeah.
It's still in the bag with the tag still on it.
And the reason she got this, no, I brought it back. Kept the receipt, brought it back. But
This is the French Montana time.
No,
Needed the
I had to
money.
save up. But bro, no, the reason she said this was it was Joe's wedding, my best friend Joe
yeah.
Ghost's wedding. And I don't play on Thursdays, and the wedding was on Saturday. And a buddy calls me and he goes, yo, It was actually somebody from the club scene. Adam Julian. Remember Adam
Yeah,
Julian?
yeah, yeah.
So he calls me like, yo, can you come play tonight? I'm like, yeah, no problem. So as I'm leaving, my wife's like, we weren't married yet. She goes, make sure you don't get hurt. You have the wedding this weekend. Like, don't be stupid. I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I go play with them. Literally the first shift, stick goes up, cuts my lip wide open, blood everywhere. I played the rest of the game. No fucks given.
Heart guy.
So I go,
Big heart guy.
dude. I go, listen, like I said, the skill's
Stitch
not
me up,
there.
Steven the
The
zippers,
skill's
let's
not
go.
there,
Yeah,
but I don't give a
zips.
fuck. I'll play. Like, I don't give a shit. So I played the entire game. I leave there. I send a picture to my wife. She's like, "You're a fucking idiot. You're dead. Like, you're dead. They're gonna kill you." I get to Joe's wedding at like in the morning on on Friday night. I get there on Friday night. He looks at me. He's like, "Bro, are you for real?" Dude, I'll never forget this. They're walking, because I didn't see her. I didn't see Sylvia, his wife, till
The wedding.
she's walking down the aisle, right? So she walks down the aisle, obviously does her smiles, looks at Joe. She looks at me, and she just shakes her head like this. For fuck's sakes, because I had like this massive, like fat lip that was like trying to hide, and like every photo I'm like this, like smiling in the fucking photo, and like my wife's like, "That's not happening at our wedding." Sure enough, it didn't, thank God. But and we won the playoffs that year, so fuck her. At my wedding speech, if you go back, it actually says, shout out to the Phoenix, and my entire hockey team at a table, and got up and started going buck. And then I actually put our championship photo on the screen. Like, bro, I don't give a shit.
That's a good story to start to wrap it up on. Actually, random side note too. Eric Branson, one of our old guests, plays in the show. He plays on Florida now. Took a high stick. It took him 30 minutes to like stitch it up or something, and the coach was losing it on his own like medical team or something.
Wow.
So I'll show you after.
Let me see.
But yeah, we are gonna wrap up. Mass, question I always love asking people: What's the rest of the year look like for you? Any
Rest of the
exciting
year?
new projects or anything?
Yeah, man. Honestly, we got a lot of crazy stuff. Like I said, the consulting thing's really taking off. I'm working with 44. I'm doing well with them, and the venue's on fire. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I enjoy working with them. They're not club guys, so I really like that about them.
That's Sacco, right? One of
No. It's,
Sacco's Ultraviolet.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Sacco's
yeah,
Ultraviolet.
yeah.
These
Sorry,
are two brothers from Niagara Falls that are developers that opened up a really great venue.
Yeah,
Where-
that's
and
the one
it's the
that's
venue?
below.
It's below Lavelle.
Lavelle.
Oh,
It's like
the
on
new
another level of like service. Like where they
Really?
have masseuses there.
The
like,
doors beside Oretta.
one server per each table. Like real shit.
Really? How big? How big's the space?
500 people?
So like a lost and found size,
No.
bigger?
No, it's way
bigger.
bigger.
Lost
Way
and
bigger.
found was
Like
100. It was like 200.
100
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
bigger.
Lost is opening up again, eh?
I heard.
Yeah, Mondays. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So
Nice.
at them, I'm doing a lot of big shows with them. So I'm probably gonna start doing some. I'm probably gonna put some house music stuff in there soon. Doing that. So that's on a consulting side. Insert is literally on fire. Like we're literally getting restaurant after restaurant, doing a lot of great work with the Liberty Group guys. So got that going, and then I might be working with this venue in Mississauga. I'm just working out the deal right now on the consulting side. So it's like I'm gonna have two tiers for me. I'm gonna have the insert marketing side, but I'm also gonna have my consulting side, which is very different and kind of grow with shit and do my thing, man. But honestly, man, if you had to ask, that's on a business level, but on a personal level, bro, I'm just gonna enjoy my kid. That's it. Enjoy my kid
Love that.
and try not to fight with my wife.
That's it. I love that. I
luck.
love that.
That's it.
I love it.
That's
Mass,
awesome,
if
man.
people want to find out more about you, follow along, where can they go? How can they find you?
My Instagram is Massimo Grisafi, Grisafi, but I'm sure you'll put that on the thing. And there's Insert Marketing, and there's 44 Toronto, and whatever else I'm involved with.
Perfect. We'll make sure we put everything in the show notes.
Appreciate it.
And if you made it to the end of this, guys, we appreciate you, Mass. Thank you so
love
much
you
for
guys.
coming on. This was
a lot of
so
fun.
nice to
That was a
sit
blast,
down and
man.
do
My
this
first podcast.
and catch up. Is it?
Yeah.
You're a
Well
natural,
done.
man.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, killed
you're
it.
good.
Killed
Thank
it. Anyways, guys, subscribe, give Mass a follow, share this. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure to head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. And that's it. Signing off, pals.
Later, pals.
Cheers.
See ya.